welcome the one, the only DJ
What it is, YouTube. You know what it is. It's your boy, the Moose Squad. Let's kick it. Hey, man, there's a lot of things going on right now, and we're going to discuss it. I have to share this. I know it's gonna. This is one of those rough videos y'all have to hear. But if you don't hear it, you'll never get it. You'll never get anything. As a DJ, there's certain things that you have to do. And we're going to discuss those things right now. First and foremost is your dietary habits. But not only that, let's stop there. Let's go on, put me right where I started. It was December 6th of 2011, which is where my journey got back on track. I had been off track for a while, but my journey, I was off track. And the problem is I did not want to surrender at all to anything. I didn't want to surrender to my wife. I didn't want to surrender to the alcohol and drugs that were just flowing through my body. And then most of all, I did not want to ask God for help. Because I knew the only equation led to one thing. And that is putting God first. You see, I chose not to do that. What I chose to do was I chose to listen to my own instincts and run from everything that I did. Okay. I'm not feeling well right now. I've been heaving for the past 4 days because of the choices that I make. And this is why I want to talk about the health situation. You must have a balanced diet, and you must, I'm saying this to help somebody. Somebody needs to hear this message. I don't know who, but somebody needs to hear it. The last time I felt like this, the last time I felt like this whole situation was when me, was shooting heroin, running from my problems, thinking I had the problem solver when all I did was create more problems to solve. Then came the day. It was 4 years later, I believe, 3 years later, 4 years, 3 years later. I ran again. I've been running like a bunch of times, but this last run was an important one. So I ran. My mother-in-law is in dialysis, and I'm the one that goes and sits with her. Me and my son. That's what we do. That's what I did. I took care of my mother-in-law. I took care of my father-in-law. But I was having these problems. I did get a chance before. So I ended up back. I go to dialysis. And if you've ever been to dialysis, now I'm not the one going to dialysis. My mother-in-law was. But how dialysis works is you go in there and you sit with your loved one for a while, and then you come back out and you sit in the crowd and wait for them to finish up. Well, there's an old brother and a sister. Their father was in there, and they would take their father. Well, we became like close friends in the dialysis. Everybody sitting in that waiting room was waiting for a loved one to come out. And that's where connections started to take place. I was connected with people that I didn't know that my life was going to change dramatically. Their daughter came in, and she comes up to me, and she goes, "You know what? I want to invite you and your wife to church." Let me explain something to you, okay? I don't go to church. The only time I go to church is when you invite me to church. Because to me, to be honest with you, that's the way I've always been. When she did that, things happened. Crazy happened. Okay, so this is what happened. So I go to church. I'm still dealing with the alcohol and drugs. I started going back to AA. I was working with a sponsor. I had just finished my 12 steps, and my sponsor told me, "Kelly," he said, "son, you need to find him, and when you do, you'll know." So that day I went. It was Sunday. That day I went. It was Sunday. And they had an altar call. I looked at my wife and I said, and she said, "Okay." And I went down there. Now listen, this was a missionary Baptist church. A missionary Baptist church. You ain't never been to a missionary Baptist church? Ask people in the comment section what a missionary Baptist church is. They'll tell you. Well, I went up to get prayer. I didn't know what I was getting into. So I stood up there. I said the sinner's prayer. I said this prayer with the bottom of my heart. And that prayer changed me. And I want to make mention to somebody. J.D. DeLay said something that stuck out. But I want to read to you something. Just so you know, this is my book. And in my book, I've studied it over and over and over and over again. Matter of fact, where it is, I highlighted it. 196 times Bill said I. But let me tell you, it says right here on page 11 in Bill's story, in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says, to Christ, I conceded a certainty of a great man, not much close followed by those who claimed him. His moral teachings teachings most excellent. For myself, I had to adapt the parts. Sorry. I'm getting emotional. It was a difficult... Okay, so let me read it again. To Christ I considered certainly a great man, not too closely followed by those who claimed him. His moral teachings most excellent. For myself, I had adopted these parts which seemed convenient and not too difficult, and the rest I had to disregard. Let me explain something to you. Other things come, and I can bet you, I can just bet you, that later on down the road as the spiritual journey went forward, he picked up those other parts. Now, so I get involved in this church, like quickly. They started doing a discipleship, and I love footwork. I am a big footworker. And the guy said, "Hey man, we're starting this class that we want you to get involved in." And I said, "What is it called?" He said, "It's called Maximum Manhood." I think it's by hold on just a second. I don't have the book. I think I have the book somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I think it's in storage. Maximum Manhood. This was by Edwin Lewis Cole. It's called Maximum Manhood. If you're a man and you want to learn how to be more of a man, read that book. It'll tear your ass apart. It will make you understand that not just being a man, but being a father. Now, there was in the page, I think it's chapter 11 or something. In the chapters, they talked about the Simpsons. I was told to read the book, right? And what do? I went to church in these shoes that day. These are my Converse. I will never let this shoe go. I will never let this shoe go because it talks about how Homer tries to be the dad that he always tries to be, and everything messes up and things like that. But the biggest thing I want to tell you is I finished the class. I finished the book. I have never, ever, ever ran or had a desire to run again. Now, you know what this running is? I'll explain. When you get into these analysis, because you got this fixation that if you leave there and you take off running, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, you're going to continue to run. And you're just going to get on that cycle again. And that cycle's like you're on a train that doesn't stop. Technically, a train can get on the tracks, but it has to be switched to another track because it can't just go straight. Tracks don't work like that. So, yeah. You want me to do an episode on that to show you what I'm talking about, but once a week, we're going to get in here and talk about spiritual and health, because I have to start doing it, man. As DJs, we have to be healthy, not just not just mentally and physically. Why I don't drink at gigs? Now you know. I've been clean and sober. I still clean and sober, and I'm going to keep on being clean and sober. Matter of fact, in the next video, I'll discuss it. But we have a karaoke gig coming up. I've been to bars. I was at a party. Trust me, I had to say this for a bunch of times there. They were smoking doobies. I kid you not. A bunch of teenagers, man. Parents were, it was a wedding. The parents left the teenagers toward that. I feel sorry for the people who lent them that place. I don't think they knew that they were going to have a wedding there. Because trust me, if I had found out they were smoking doobies in my place, I'd have kicked them out. Oh boy, oh boy. That was the Airbnb that they were in. And I DJ'd it, but I wanted to bring this up. Now, I already going to see y'all going to be saying, hey dog, where's your teeth? I told you I'm not feeling good at all. So mind me not having teeth in. This is going to go all around. I don't give a dang. But I tell you this much. You know, I've had some conversations with the Lord lately. And I realized today that I can't play no more games. You play stupid games, and you win stupid prizes. Well, I think redemption is here. And I'll talk about that in the next video. Alright? With that, I'm out.